I'm Jamie Adams, and I've been demanding tribute like the greedy dragon I am.
I'm Ian McAllister, and I've been trying to undo the circle.
And I'm Sam Maggs, and I've been laying railroads in France. And this is Brainwaves, bringing you the best in board game and tabletop gaming news. These are the headlines for the week of the 18th of February 2019. Feel the aftershocks of a cancelled Kickstarter. They're in the money, but not as much as they could have been at Cmon. And journey to the Outer Rim, with who else but Fantasy Flight Games. All this and more on Brainwaves.
Our first piece of news this week is about a cancelled Kickstarter from Stronghold Games. They had a game called Aftershock up on Kickstarter from Alan Moon of Ticket to Ride fame. And they have recently cancelled that. It had just reached 18,700 of the 15,444 pounds asked. And the reasons they seem to have cancelled it are a little bit nebulous. What seems to have happened, there's been a bit of backlash from people who were fans of a previous game called Aftershock that had very similar sort of disaster theming to it. And the name confusion was causing a lot of problems. There was a lot of outrage from those fans that this wasn't the game they thought it was, and Stronghold were getting a lot of sort of heat off them. Stronghold's statement of why they cancelled the campaign is, while the campaign funded, the deluxe edition upgrades and their associated costs weren't resonating with as many people as we had hoped. We're going back to the drawing board, rethinking how to give Aftershock its best shot at doing well. Our next step could be a revised Kickstarter with different reward levels and perks for backers, or perhaps we just go straight to retail. Now, the Canadian company behind the other Aftershock, called Pack Sims, have put out a sort of statement on their site of exactly what happened. They weren't exactly angry with Stronghold in any way or form, they just wanted resolution as to the similarities between their two games, certainly thematically but not mechanically. And that does seem to have now come to a conclusion. Steve Bonacore of Stronghold has got in touch with Pack Sims and has offered to change the name of their Aftershock into a different game, and no doubt we'll see what that name is going to be somewhere down the line. It's just one of those things that happens, I guess. There's a lot of games out there. There's bound to be the occasional sort of crossover, crossing the streams of different releases. What do you think of this, guys?
I think this is fair enough, to be honest, that actually there was confusion out there, and are people funding something that, fair enough, in all honesty, read the Kickstarter page, read everything, watch all the videos before pledging your money, but is it misleading, deliberately or not, whatever, you know, and actually if they're cancelling it to essentially rebrand the game and give it a different theme just to make that confusion clearer, you know, I think that's fine, really. You know, that people aren't going to spend any money on this, you know, people aren't losing money on this, that it is just saying, our bad, we're going to go back to the drawing board. You're still going to get essentially the same game, so if it's the game you like the look of, that's what you're going to get. It just won't be called this, it maybe won't look like this. I think that's cool.
I think the theme's going to remain the same, but the name is going to change. There was a little bit of weirdness, like initially Stronghold, when Pack Sims were responding to questions on Twitter about the confusion. There's a bit of weirdness where Stronghold at one point blocked them from replying to their Twitter feed and that kind of thing. That all seems to have been resolved, and Pack Sims have been very forthright about basically saying we weren't really angry at any point, we just wanted clarification and this to be resolved. And not everything seems to be okay now. So hopefully we'll see both games gain a little bit of press out of this and being played by people down the line.
Late last year, we reported that Cool Mini or Not profits had taken quite a slump in the 9 months of 2018. However, they've just released a preliminary statement, and it seems that for the fourth quarter, their profits have significantly increased. In the third quarter last year, they lost over $4 million on sales of $2.3 million, pulling its 9-month results down to a loss of 4.1. Sales were down over 30%, but it's looking good. It's not going to be as profitable as 2017. What Cool Mini or Not are saying is that the improved results in the fourth quarter they're putting down to them shipping successful Kickstarter projects, and people are finally getting what they've backed and promised. So they're seeing a rise in expectation and profits. And Cool Mini or Not are really making headway in the board game industry right now. You know, with their fantastic Kickstarters, even with their smaller things, publishing games such as Railroad Inc., which has done superbly well in the last couple of months. It is good to see them climbing back up there and not, you know, just crashing and burning. Not that they would crash and burn, but it's nice to see that they're still there.
Indeed. I mean, you know my dislike of big box miniature focused games that we see a lot of on Kickstarter, but I don't bear Cmon any ill will. It's good to see a company still producing that kind of game. A lot of people love them. I don't particularly, but that doesn't matter because a lot of people really like those kind of games.
You've got your dislike of big box miniature based war games on tiles, but it's nice to see that even though a company is called Cool Mini or Not, and that may be their original raison d'etre, seeing them produce games like Railroad Inc. is a nice
using
step.
that money to produce smaller things is really cool to see them doing smaller games as well. We'll see what 2019 brings for them.
Sam, I believe you sense a disturbance in the force.
I do. And who best to deliver this news than me?
More like a disturbance in his wallet, I think.
Probably not this time, honestly, and I'll tell my reasons for that in a minute. But anyway, what we're referring to is Fantasy Flight's announcement of Star Wars Outer Rim. This is a game of bounty hunters, mercenaries, and smugglers for, interestingly, 1 to 4 players.
And caught that.
Yeah. So this is... You're playing bounty hunters, you're playing mercenaries. They're all characters from the films of the expanded universe, so you can be Boba Fett, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian. Dr. Aphra is in there, who's a really cool character from the comic books. It was nice to see them expanding her a bit more. Bit of a fan favourite, and she's cool. And essentially, if you played Firefly, the board game, or Merchants and Marauders, or Zaya, those kind of things, a bit sandboxy, go out, steal bounty, or do legal jobs, illegal jobs, game points, win the game, kind of thing. You get the idea. Build your ship, upgrade your ship, people get bounties on their heads, you can go and kill other players or steal people's crew and things like that. Usually pretty good fun. I've played Firefly quite a lot. I've actually had a 7-player game of Firefly, which I don't recommend.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. That must have taken a while.
Don't recommend it. It wasn't particularly fun, to be honest. Merchants and Marauders I've only played once, but kind of like it. It's fine. I know, Jamie, you're a big fan. Ian, not so much. I'd probably sit
I thought
in
it was
the middle.
okay.
Anyway, back to Star Wars. What does this offer? At first glance, not much new, to be honest. The one thing that I really don't enjoy about these games is they scream play interaction, but rarely give it to you. Like, you're flying around doing all of these jobs, and it's like, okay, so can we, team up on a job? Can I screw you over doing your job and stuff? And very often the answer's no, not really. Whether this one's gonna have that remains to be seen. It's already said that, other players' characters can get bounties on their head, and you can maybe go and kill them or strike a deal so they stay alive and things like that, but hey,
my experience of that in the Firefly game was that it didn't really provide much interaction. You were very much sort of...
It wasn't worth going after those
You were very
people.
much hoping that you could do your thing before anyone else, pretty much.
The Outer Rim board, I have to say, does look quite nice. Instead of your standard triangular board, it seems to be a slightly modular, not semicircle.
Standard triangular board.
Shut up.
I didn't know whether I should leave that or not.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to start that again.
What games have you been buying? Because I have never seen a standard triangular board.
Shut up.
I think that's the name of the podcast. Standard triangular board.
Star Wars Outer Rim's board looks very interesting because instead of the usual rectangular board, we have a semi-modular crescent shape, which appears to be the different planets. Reconfigure it how you like, depending on when you play. So it can add that little bit of extra frisson to the game, whereas a game like Merchants and Marauders or Firefly have their fixed places.
Maybe it's going to be amazing. Who knows?
And our first piece of news is a bit of recruitment for Inside the Box Games down in London. They are looking for some summer interns. You'll find a link in the show notes to the form you need to fill out for that. But yeah, they are looking for a few summer interns to help them in games development. This would be a really good step on the ladder if you're in that area and looking to get into sort of tabletop games development. Go and check it out. We'll put links in the show notes and you can go and apply.
I don't know about you, gents, but I have never played Talisman.
Nope.
Can't say I have.
Oh,
wow,
what a great
this is going to help.
cast to be doing this.
This is going to be fantastic, isn't it? Talisman, a very classic, almost dungeon crawl style game originally from Games Workshop, and then published by Fantasy Flight during the Fantasy Flight Games and Games Workshop long partnership, which spawned games such as Forbidden Stars, wealth of Warhammer 40k RPGs, and Fury of Dracula. Fantasy Flight and Games Workshop parted ways with their joint license several years ago, and rumours have been floating around about who's going to take what game. For example, WizKids has recently published Fury of Dracula 4th edition, and Pegasus Spiel have had the license to publish the Games Workshop games since last year or something like that. But now USAopoly is in partnership with Games Workshop, and they are going to publish new copies of Talisman.
We're not too sure whether it's actually going to be Talisman or not, because what they say is they're going to create similar Magical Quest games featuring licensed properties. What does that mean? Harry Potter Talisman?
Well, it depends on what licenses that USAopoly may hold. We've seen USAopoly put out Warhammer 40,000 Monopoly. Now, they may have part of the license for that, but we could be seeing them reprinting Relic, which I believe was Talisman in Warhammer 40,000. I'm going to have to look that up now.
And ultimately, it's this kind of roll and move adventure game where you move around a board and draw a card and see what happens. And why couldn't that, frankly, go over to Harry Potter or go over to, hey, you name it, and that would
They've got the Rick and Morty license, for instance.
Rick and
Morty Talisman.
Yeah, and it's that kind of thing, to be honest, that people would grab up and go for.
Yeah, totally.
And it's...
Especially if it's quite straightforward, quite simple to pick up, then that could be a very good move for them. And I know WizKids they're producing like a couple of like Age of Sigmar board games as well. They've got one announced. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. But yeah, it seems like GW are spreading themselves a lot thinner across the board game sphere. They're not like giving their license to one company like they did with FFG. A lot of different companies are getting different things to play with.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's an approach they've done previously in video games. Previously, it was held by a very few number of companies, and then maybe it was THQ held it for a while when they were doing the Dawn of War games, and now they've done a much more scattergun approach. We've got companies, one company producing Blood Bowl, the other company is about to produce the Necromunda game. We've got, Man of War. We've got
various
Tyndalus.
iOS apps.
Yeah, we've got Tyndalus Interactive doing Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
Everyone should check the Warhammer Quest app's really good, by the way. You should check that out. I really enjoyed that.
And it's it's actually yielding very good fruit. It's different studios with different parts of it giving really interesting different takes on it. So if it worked for video games, there's no reason why it shouldn't work for board games.
No, totally agree. I think it seems like a wise strategy from them, and it means they'll reach a much wider audience, which is great, because a lot of people won't buy a Fantasy Flight game just because it's Fantasy Flight. So if you spread yourself a bit thinner, you're less likely to come down to that sort of publisher hate thing that you get with some people.
Plus they've already done it with the role-playing games as well. They've got Ulysses Spiel doing Wrath and Glory, which is the new Warhammer 40,000 RPG. And we also have Cubicle 7 doing WFRP 4th edition, and also printing the new Age of Sigmar role-playing game.
Yeah, indeed. But Sam, I hear you're a Sushi Pro.
I'm the dedicated cast Sushi Pro. Gamewright have announced Sushi Roll, knocking out of the park with the name of the game. This is a dice rolling version of Sushi Go. Instead of being a drafting game, Sushi Go, if you don't know it, just a deck of cards with sushi on it. Set collection, you get a hand of cards, you choose one of those sushis, you move it on to the next player, you get their hand, you choose another one. You're looking for sets to get more points. It's good fun. The game lasts about 15 minutes, really good time. Now it's going to be a dice rolling game. We haven't got much, if any, news, to be honest, any more details to give you. Yeah, you roll a load of dice, you pick one up, and you pass the rest of the dice on. Very similar to the card game. How different it's going to be, we don't really know. Pretty much the entire description of the game is it's Sushi Go, but with dice. But we'll see. I'm sure it's going to be a low-cost game. 2 to 5 players, it says. 20 minutes. If indeed it is just going to probably be a bunch of dice, it can't be much money. Yeah, look out for that.
Sam, I sense another disturbance in the Force.
There's more disturbance in the Force. So much disturbance. And that disturbance is the prequels. A whole bunch of X-Wings been announced. Wave 4 for second edition, that is. And now, obviously, we have 18 factions in the game, so everything needs new ships.
I think you might be over-egging that slightly, Sam, I suspect.
Only slightly, though. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 factions in X-Wing now. I think I'm right there.
Oh, wow. And I remember people slagging me off for saying that I liked Star Trek Attack Wing, and the problem was there were too many factions.
We finally get it. Young Anakin Skywalker in a Naboo starfighter exists in the game.
Now that is pod racing.
He can barrel roll. Oh, he can barrel roll like the best of them. Naboo starfighter's legit, like, I think, one of the nicest spaceships ever designed, though. It's great. It legit is
It is
amazing.
beautiful.
You can't knock the visual design of the prequels, quite frankly. They had some good design in there. Anyway, Wave 4, we're getting Naboo Starfighter, we're getting the Millennium Falcon again, because they just have to re-release this for second edition. A nice repainted B-Wing, which is quite cool, and it looks...
That can move.
Like it moves around, which is really nice and cool.
Big plastic movement tools and range ruler as well.
Yeah, big chunky movement tools.
Which don't look quite as nice as a lot of the ones that are produced by third parties, to be honest.
The transport that Leia comes down in The Force Awakens, because it appears in Star Wars, has to be in the game, obviously. And it's also got a tiny little pod that I think clips off and becomes its own ship, which is actually quite cute. But, hey, that's some X-Wing for you. Go buy that plastic crack, folks.
Sam, you're getting a little bit... You're getting a little bit het up, mate. You just need
I
to
am.
chill out, okay?
Oh, I just
Chill.
need to sit down, man. I've been
Sam,
raging about this all day. Okay.
Yes, I know. Sam, chill, okay? Ian, light the candles, get the smoking jacket. We are taking you over.
We're going there.
Yep, we're taking you over to the
It's
nice,
been such a long time.
The nice, comfy couches of RPG Corner. What's in this corner? Looks like RPG Corner. Books and rules. All the latest RPG news. RPG Corner.
So Sam, are you feeling better now? You've got a nice comfy chair to sit in, a nice hot cocoa.
It's good. I've calmed down.
Smoking jacket on. Would you like to maybe peruse tonight's entertainment on the television?
Sure. Oh, I've just noticed you've got a nice big TV now. Oh.
If you notice over the corner, I've installed a nice big flat screen over there, and that's because there is a new D&D series coming out.
Cool.
Yes, Relics and Rarities is coming out from Geek and Sundry, and this is a star-studded D&D cast led by Deborah Ann Wall from Daredevil. It's going to have a regular cast of sort of D&D streamer names. I don't personally recognize myself, but a lot of sort of regular streamer names in there. But its main shtick is that it's going to have celebrity guests in there as well. And that includes Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil himself, Kevin Smith, Matthew Lilliard, Jana Kavinker, Simone Missick, and Sam Richardson. Like a lot of sort of big sort of American television names coming into the show and playing D&D, which is just completely mind-blowing.
RPGs being streamed is very hot topic right now, and
it's so hot right now.
It's so hot right now. It's
it still
boiling.
blows my mind that people want to watch people play D&D or Vampire or Call of Cthulhu, and that they're getting like tens of thousands of people filling auditoriums to watch people play D&D live. Totally cool, totally amazing.
Why not? You're watching people tell a story in the same way that you might see in
but it's quite
play. But
it's
again,
so different. I mean,
same.
like
yes, it's very different.
5-10 years ago, we'd never ever have thought D&D would get this kind of acclaim or publicity, and just absolutely amazing. We got some stuff in the post as well, guys. Would you like to here one each?
Wait a minute, we have posts.
Open those up. Yeah.
Oh, quite big boxes.
Yeah, they're not bad actually. Yeah,
can I open mine first?
Yeah, you open yours first.
Cool.
Don't look at it too hard.
Cthulhu. Nice. I've been meaning to get back into some Cthulhu stuff.
Yeah, I've been wanting to sort of get into Cthulhu for a while, and now there is a new shiny Call of Cthulhu starter set out now. And the thing that I like most about the starter set is that it includes a solo adventure to help you get familiar with the game. Call of Cthulhu over the years has released a variety of solo adventures, which I've always thought was a slightly strange thing for an RPG to do. But in this case, I think it would be a really good idea, because of what it does is it also teaches you the game mechanics, and sort of, if you're going to be the keeper, the GM of Call of Cthulhu, then it also sort of shows you how to put together a scenario as you play through this, which is really cool. There's also 3 starter adventures in there, a bunch of full color player handouts, nice little pack of dice as well. I mean, we've all got loads of dice, but it's always nice to have a few more. And if you're interested in listening to what Mike Mason, who is the Call of Cthulhu lead at Chaosium, had to say about that, you can listen to myself and Gaz from the Smart Party interviewing him on their latest podcast. So, Jamie, your package, that is the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition Starter Set.
Ooh.
It is out very soon, not out quite yet, so we've got a little preview there. And there's a PDF out now that you can get on Drive-Thru RPG. And it again has sort of starter adventures in there, a good sort of series of 2 or 3 adventures to get you into the game. It's going to have like full color handouts. It looks really cool. It might be what I pick up to get into fourth edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. It's been getting a lot of good noise, and it's nice to see companies releasing more starter sets like this, so you don't have to buy like £40-50 worth of books right off the bat. You can buy something like this, which I think it's going to retail for around about the sort of £25 mark, the box set.
I wondered why this package was spiky.
Yeah, it is a little bit, and watch out for the squigs. Well, last little bit of RPG news, guys. We don't have anything through the post for this, but there is a new company in town from Johnny Hodgson. Johnny is was a long-time member of Cubicle 7, was their art director for Cubicle 7, and did some of the work on Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition. He has left Cubicle 7 in the about sort of third quarter of last year, and has launched his own game company called Handiwork Games. So Johnny and his son Rory are behind the Forest Dragon, which myself and Jamie have played and quite like.
Yes.
They are releasing a new game called Forest Dragon Bang and Twang very soon. That's been on Kickstarter recently, and that is currently going through production. And Handiwork Games will also be producing a bunch of material for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. This includes a take on Beowulf for that system. A game called, I'm going to get this name horrendously wrong, and I apologize in advance, Johnny. Hellenistica. I think that's how you pronounce it. Hellenistica.
Hellenistica.
Well, and that's being produced with Kenneth Hite, so that's an adventure across the good parts of the Hellenistic Age, is the way they put it. And they're also doing a Scarred Lands creature collection for 5th edition with Onyx Publishing. So Johnny looks like he's going to be very busy over the year, and no doubt he'll be announcing more. Best of luck to you, Johnny.
Guys,
Sam,
I'm just looking on the bookshelf. Like, we've got today's cast fresh off the press here.
as it's being made.
Yeah, it's like 6 pages here. There's like a 10-page copy right next to it.
What's that doing there?
That's the extended cast, Sam. That's only for our patrons. And you too can join that exclusive Patreon club by giving us only $1 a month. For only $1 a month, you will get access to a lovely, fabulous extended cast. And if you'd like to go a little further than that, if you'd like to hear more of Sam, Jamie, and I entertaining you with our silky tones, then you can give us $2 a month and join the small number of people that listen to Idle Thoughts every month. And that is us talking about the games that we have played, what we've liked, what we haven't, and what we're planning to play in the future. You can check out our Patreon now. Nice. Oh, guys, there's this really cool competition thing I think we should watch. I'm just going to put it on TV. Is that right? I mean, it's going to...
Yeah, I'm happy to kind of chill here for the rest of the show, to be honest. It's nice.
I know we're not massive sport fans, but have you ever seen dolphins jousting? It's the moment you've all been waiting for, everyone. Yes, it's the 2019 Champion of the Wild. Thank you all so much for coming in to our cornucopia of coaches who have been training their birds, beasts, insects, and sea creatures for an entire year, just waiting to test out their skills on the course we have set for them this year. Jamie, why don't you remind us of all the rules?
Thanks very much, Ian. 3 events have been selected, and each trainer has chosen just one of their stable to compete in those events. Specialist equipment has been provided, of course, for those who need it. For example, water lanes for aquatic animals. Once all 3 events have been played, the judges' votes will tell us who has come out on top as champion of the wild.
And it looks like things are warming up in the arena. Here come the coaches. Oh, what a variety we can see. You can see a gorilla, an albatross, but are those octopuses?
Octopi.
Octopods.
Oh, whatever. With the coaches in, the big screen is lighting up with the 3 events, and they are. We've got the 100-metre sprint, jousting, and a staring competition.
Well, that is certainly a diverse range of events. Let's see what the coaches are going to decide on putting forward for day 1 of this competition.
Quite a range indeed. The coaches have chosen. It seems we are going to have a dolphin, swarm of honeybees, and a bear. This will be quite a matchup. Right, first up is the 100-metre sprint.
Yes, down here at trackside, the competitors are just warming up. A special water lane is in place for the dolphin. The bees are currently being contained in a hive. And the bear, well, the bear's gone to sleep. And they're off.
Oh, bees making a slow start there. Slow start for the bees. Ian, what do you think?
I'm paying more attention to the bear. The bear does seem to have woken up. He's having a big yawn, and he's starting to slowly make his way down the
here
pitch.
comes the dolphin.
Look at that dolphin
Here comes the dolphin.
go.
Here comes the dolphin. And spinning and flipping and... Oh!
Oh, it does seem that the dolphin has managed to break through the 100-metre barrier before anyone else. The bees have just gone off into the crowd and are just stinging everyone. They do seem to have got slightly distracted by the ice cream that everyone is holding. And the bear, well, the bear's going there too. And Sam, I believe you're there with the winner?
Yeah, I am, Ian, thank you very much. I'm here with the winner of that round. What is it like? How does it feel?
My goodness, who knew dolphins could be so impolite? Never heard such language.
That was a bit on the nose, or snout, as it may be. Anyway, let's move on now to our second event, the jousting.
That's right, folks. The coaches are getting into position astride their animals. Not sure how the bees, oh my word.
Absolutely incredible scenes down there as the bees seem to have formed themselves into the shape of a horse. And is the coach now putting a saddle on them?
That surely isn't possible.
Well, we will see what the judges think, because the first joust is on its way. It's bees versus the bear.
Oh, that looks painful. Bear kept his pace well, and the bees seemed to scatter when the lance passed through them. The coach went through the bees, and oh, nasty stinging on the way down. First round to the bear.
Next up, we've got the bear versus the dolphin.
Well, it does look like we have our first gold medal. The coach just could not quite keep his place on top of the dolphin as it bounded from the water lane. The bear did try to catch and eat it at one point, much like a salmon, but thankfully failed, and the bear's coach did manage to keep his balance through that entire encounter and successfully dislodged the dolphin's rider. Well done to the bear.
I think that's quite enough of that. Let's go on to the greatest competition yet, the staring contest. No blinking, no looking away, no laughing.
Is that what your wife said to you last night?
Thank you, Ian.
Well, let's take you to our first match, everyone. Bees versus dolphin. How the dolphin will focus on just one pair of eyes, I have no idea.
I have no idea either. There's a real buzz in the arena. Not just from the swarm of bees. Now, the adjudicators have asked for complete silence whilst this match goes on. There's a signal from the referee. And they're off. Oh, it's bad luck from the dolphin there. The bees were just too much and it got bored and swam off.
Well, that was an indescribably tense match that was sadly not really great radio.
It's a shame. The dolphin was going into the staring contest in strong form there. Although it'll be interesting to see the bees versus the bear once again. Now, of course, all animals have been ordered to suppress their natural instincts, but, of course, the bear may have the sweet smell of success in its nostrils.
Maybe that's just the honey.
Oh, you crack me up.
Let's see how this sticky situation goes down.
You two really are the worst. That's the signal. And... well, what a shocker. I thought the bear had the game there, but his frantic muzzle grabbing knocks him out and the beast swarm to victory.
Wonderful show there from... oh, wait. I'm just hearing the Bears coach. It's appealing for adjudication. He wants to know whether bees can blink.
I think they might be a while discussing it down there. They seem to be looking up things on their phones.
Well, while they're doing that, we'll have a little break. Why don't you come back after the break for the judges' conclusions, as well as the rest of today's events. The hole digging and the beach volleyball. How does a dolphin dig a hole? How do bees return a volleyball, let alone lift it? Stay tuned to find out.
Well, what do you think to that, guys?
That slightly defied description.
That's what I thought
nuts.
as well, but it was very enjoyable, I thought.
Yeah. I'd keep an eye on that and watch more of it.
There's more of that coming out later this year, or so I've heard.
Yeah, I've
Anyway, we need to get out of these chairs. We've stayed in RPG Corner for way too long. Like, so much more than we've
But
ever
the
stayed
interns
here
have just
before.
poured me a bourbon.
Come on.
You have interns?
No, we've got more news to do. We need to go back to the studio.
Yeah, we've got to finish this thing off.
I have sad news for you, gentlemen. Well, sad news for you, Sam. We were unable to find any Monopoly news for this podcast. Oh, the cycle has been broken.
Such a
Finally.
letdown. Like, genuinely let down.
You also looked, Sam. Don't you dare lie to me.
No, it's just a letdown. We all looked for Monopoly news and just wasn't any. No Monopoly
Even I
news.
looked for Monopoly news because I knew you guys would be sad. That's how much I care.
Instead of Monopoly news, I bring you ludicrously priced board gaming news.
Is it the latest release from Cmon?
Oh, sick
Is it
burn.
a £50 piece of terrain from Fantasy Flight?
Oh, slightly sick burn. No, it's from Louis Vuitton or Vuitton. Vuitton? Louis Vuitton.
Not a designer I've heard of.
No. Louis Vuitton has announced they are selling a Jenga set for the low price of 2,500 of your American dollars.
Okay.
The game
Take two.
Yeah.
Instead of wooden blocks, the game is 54 plexiglass cubes.
So plastic.
Each one has a Louis Vuitton logo on it. The interesting thing is, it's not marked as a Jenga set. It's not marketed as a Jenga set. So theoretically, Louis Vuitton is selling a $2,500 knockoff Jenga made of plastic.
It's genius marketing, though, because they will sell a bunch
They
of
Of course
will.
they will.
Hey, Louis Vuitton, sponsor the show. Send us all a Jenga set. It's only made of plastic. Come on.
Plexiglass, please.
Anyway, I think that's enough of very expensive things. And talking about our lovely patrons, we'd like to just give a little shout out to our first executive producers, the Lucky Sparrow Gaming Cafe in Glasgow. We are going to be visiting those fine folks on the 24th this month and playing games with each other and hopefully some of the patrons there. That's going to be fun.
Might record something as well, maybe? Who knows?
Sorry?
We could record something as well?
We could indeed. We could take some
Who
recording equipment.
knows?
I believe they might have some on site. We should get in touch with them about that. That could be a laugh. We might take some Captain Sonar or maybe record some Captain Sonar.
We should.
But also, we'd like to give a shout out to our newest patron, Robin K. Thank you very much, Robin, for your patronage. You will be
Thank
getting
you.
the extended cast. And as we
Thank you very much.
and as we said earlier in the cast, you can get access to the extended cast for $1 a month and to our Idle Thoughts podcast for $2 a month. We are just $1 off our first stretch goal. So if anybody feels like throwing us $1 a month, that would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And thank you all for listening. If you like what you've listened to, then the best way to help us out is to really just share the podcast and drop us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Leave us a review and rating on iTunes, especially if you're there. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Giant Brain, on Instagram at Giant Brain UK, Facebook, just search The Giant Brain. Our website is giantbrain.co.uk, where I post reviews and critique of various things. You can email us and do get in touch with us. Let us know what you'd like to see on the show, what you'd like us to include in the Brainwaves podcast, or email us questions that you'd like us to answer on the show. We'd like to start some kind of mailbag sort of thing, and it'd be good to get some questions from listeners. So that is giantbrainuk@gmail.com. And we now also have a Board Game Geek Guild. We are Guild 3476, or just search the Giant Brain and Brainwaves.
Catchy.
Rolls off
It's
the
catchy.
tongue.
Yeah, Guild 3476. I'm going to get t-shirts made and
Can we have-
everything.
Oh,
Or
totally
you should
should.
just search the Giant Brain and Brainwaves, and I'm going to be doing a bit more blogging on that platform as well, and we will link to that when that happens. Thank you very much, folks. Goodbye.